Near frontier intelligence at half the flagship price, Anthropic has released Claude Opus 5 at the same $5 input and $25 output rate as Opus 4.8, with a 1 million token context window, 128,000 tokens of output, and 5 effort levels. Claude Opus 5 is not Anthropic's most powerful model. It may be the most important one because it turns frontier-class agency into an everyday product. The flagship moved up while Opus moved into the workflow. Fable 5 remains Anthropic's highest capability model, while Opus 5 is built for complex agentic coding and enterprise work. It is now the default model on Claude Max, the strongest option on Claude Pro, and it is available through the Claude API, AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Foundry. The price did not move, but the performance curve did. $5 per million input tokens and $25 per million output tokens is unchanged from Opus 4.8, while Anthropic positions Opus 5 close to Fable 5's intelligence at half Fable's token rate. For latency-sensitive work, fast mode runs around 2.5 times faster at twice the base price. The important choice is no longer just the model. It is the effort, low, medium, high, X-high, and max control. How deeply Opus 5 reasons. With high as the default, Anthropic says low and medium retain strong quality at a fraction of the tokens and latency, while X-high and max need a generous output budget for long reasoning, tool use, and sub-agent work. Here is the migration trap. Adaptive thinking is now on, even when your request does not include a thinking field and thought tokens share the same max token ceiling as the visible answer. Thinking can only be disabled at high effort or below, because disabling it at X-high or max returns an error, so control costs with lower effort before turning reasoning off completely. Opus 5 is built to finish the coding loop, not just start it, and Anthropic reports more than double what Opus 4.8 scored on Frontier Bench performance at a lower cost per completed task, while max effort cursor bench results land within half a percentage point of Fable 5 at roughly half the cost. The practical change is longer multi-file work reaching completion with fewer stubs, plus code review that finds real root causes with few false positives. This is not only a coding release. On Arc AGI 3, novel problem solving scores 3 times higher than the next best model in Anthropic's comparison. Automation Bench passes around 1.5 times more business tasks at the same cost, while OS World shows Opus 5 beating every compared model at a given cost and passing Fable's best computer use result at just over a third of the cost. The quieter jump is in science and visual work. Opus 5 improves over 4.8 on every reported evaluation across the life sciences, including a 10.2-point gain in molecular structure inference and a 7.7-point gain in protein variation. Stronger visual understanding also shows up in interactive artifacts, interface replication, complex spreadsheets, and better structured slide decks. The full context window is now standard rather than a special variant. 1 million tokens is both the default and the maximum, with 128,000 tokens available for thinking. Plus visible output, Anthropic also says instruction following, tool calls, and reasoning stay consistent across that window, while the prompt cache minimum drops from 1024 tokens to 512. 1 million tokens is working space, not permanent recall. The context window is the information available for the current request, and irrelevant context can still reduce the model's focus even when the window is not full. Prompt caching makes repeated context cheaper without making it smaller, so context quality matters alongside context capacity. Claude can also clear the debris before the next reasoning step. Anthropic describes server-side compaction as the primary strategy for most long-running conversations, while context editing can remove old tool result blocks and older thinking blocks after they stop being useful. This is a Claude platform capability supported across current models, not something Opus 5 uniquely owns. Long-term memory lives outside the window in storage you control. Claude's memory tool stores information in client-side files that can survive across conversations, then retrieves relevant memory only when it is needed. Combined with context editing, an agent can save important state, clear bulky history, and continue working beyond the limits of one active window. Long-running agents no longer need a frozen tool belt. A beta feature lets developers add or remove tools and insert new system instructions between turns without invalidating the cached prefix. Another beta can route classifier refusals to Anthropic's recommended fallback, and the model named Claude Opus 5 is dateless but pinned, meaning it maps to one fixed model snapshot rather than silently changing weights. Your old prompts will run, but the compensation layers may now work against you. Give Opus 5 the complete task specification up front. Remove redundant instructions telling it to verify everything again, and expect it to delegate more readily in multi-agent systems. For code review, Ask for every genuine finding first and filter severity in a second pass, because conservative wording can suppress useful issues. Anthropic says the strongest everyday Claude is also its most aligned. Opus 5 records a 2.3 overall misalignment score, the lowest among its recent models, while deception, misuse susceptibility, and reckless high-impact actions also fall. The model is not unrestricted, because classifiers can still block binary scanning, penetration testing, and exploit generation, although Anthropic expects them to intervene around 85% less often than Fable 5's. So who should switch? Use Opus 5 for long horizon coding, enterprise analysis, and complex artifacts where a failed run costs more than the extra tokens. Keep Sonnet 5 on fast, cost-sensitive workloads that already pass your evaluations, and reserve Fable 5 for the small set of tasks that still fail at Opus max effort. The right migration is an effort sweep on your own tasks, followed by routing based on completed task economics rather than benchmark rank. The cleanest proof is Frontier Bench at the same $5 input and $25 output rate. Opus 5 scores more than twice as high as Opus 4.8 and delivers a lower reported cost per completed task. If the model can now finish the task instead of merely helping you start it, which workflow deserves a fresh evaluation first, so subscribe for more direct AI deep dives and tell me what you want tested on Opus 5.